So what's going on? My name's Cole Sampson. I thought I'd make a little video for YouTube. I'll explain kind of why in a minute. Regarding strongman, really, I've been a fan of strongman as a sport since I was probably 10. Always watched it like most British people, I think, sort of around Christmas. Social media got bigger over the years. I've followed it more closely and just always been a big fan. Kind of looked for a long time about maybe having a go at it. Couldn't really ever find anywhere locally that sort of had the kit or whatever. And if I'm honest, I was just a bit lazy to go and try it really. Until Christmas 2021, Christmas Day, was the sort of period after lunch when you sort of sat doing nothing and you're scrolling through your phone. Saw someone, a friend on Facebook, doing some axle press. So I dropped him a message and said, "Oh, that looks like strongman. I've always been a big fan of that." And where was that? And it turned out it was a gym which was half an hour from my house that had kit. So that was on Christmas Day. I messaged him and said, is it sort of anyone can go? Or he said, yeah. So I went down on New Year's Eve, just about 15 minutes before the gym closed, just to have a look. Two of the guys there that did the training, guy called Chris Wolf. You might know him from World's Strongest Disabled Man. He's come second. Single leg amputee, very strong guy. And a guy called Craig Price. Shout out to both of them guys. They've really helped me a lot. Craig sort of said, yeah, you can come and have a look. And the first sort of thing I went and picked up was loadable circus dumbbell. It's 45 kilos, which is about £100. And it turned out that watching it for years as a sport doesn't really mean that you'll be good at it. Really struggled even to get it to my shoulder, to be honest. I had to go over an empty log, which is sort of 45 kilos, press that badly. That was it. But just having those couple of goes on a couple of implements, I was sold, and came back home and just sort of said to my wife, I really want to have a go at this. Not competing, just get a bit of weight off me, love the sport, let's have a go. So I knew there was flyers out for a competition, 25th of June 2022, Kidderminster Strongest Man. Sort of said, see how things go. I'll come and watch. I don't mind joining in, do a bit of moving kit around, helping out on the day, just try not to get in the way and make a mess. And then they said, oh well, it's full actually, the novice class, but you could put yourself down as a reserve. So I laughed and said, yeah, put me down as reserve, no problem. Then I think I kept going down training. Got 3 kids, so I was only training once a week. It's just a hobby. It was sometime in February. The gym owner says, oh, by the way, you're in. Someone's dropped out, you're in. And that's when things kind of got a little bit real. Now, we're only talking novice strongman level. We're not talking, anything great. But once you realise there's a competition and you've got a goal, something to train for, you sort of go, right, okay. And this is kind of the reason I made this video. So as I'm sat now outside, we're a week away from competition. It's currently the 19th of June. Competition's on the 25th. So I thought I'll put something out, because I looked sort of on YouTube and stuff, and there's not tons of stuff for someone who's never done a contest, sort of advice and what to expect. So I thought I'll do a little bit of why I got into the sport, how long I've been doing it, my personal goals with the events in the competition, which I'll go through in a sec. And then once everything's over, I'll chop this together, hopefully, chuck in some footage and results and see how I get on. So, events. First event is a squat. Novice weight is 180 kilos, which is about 400 pounds. But it's quite a cool piece of kit they've had built. So it's a bar with a whiskey barrel on each end, which is then loaded with plates, which means the bar's really whippy. Now, like I said, I started in January, so by the time this comp comes around, I won't quite have been doing the sport for 6 months. And straight away, I think that touches on something that I see. There's a really good thing online, starting strongman, people sort of saying, how strong do I need to be to enter a comp, or how long do I need to have been doing it to enter a comp? I'm not even officially 6 months in and was a couch potato beforehand that was just a strongman fan. So yeah, first event is a really, really whippy squat lift. Then we've got a yoke walk that was a yoke walk. I'll go through why I say was, which in novice is 240 kilos, which is 530 pounds. I'm trying to do this for everybody. That was meant to be 15 meters drop, and then farmers walk back 100 kilos per hand, 220 pounds per hand. Deadlift for novice is on a standard deadlift bar, standard height, 200 kilos for reps in a minute, 440 pounds. And then the circus dumbbell that I mentioned earlier, didn't do so well when I started, 45 kilos or 100 pounds, reps in a minute. Then we've got an Atlas stone run to barrels, which I believe are all 52 inches. That could be wrong. They're all same height barrels. 60 kilo, 80, 90, 100, 120, or if you're in pounds, lightest being 130 pounds, heaviest being 265 pounds. So that's the events. I don't know if that's typical weights or typical for novice. I've sort of looked at other comps, but the way I'm looking at this, the way I'm taking it on is I've looked into sort of a little bit the guys that I'm competing against. I'm not going to take it as that it matters too much, because some of these guys could have been doing this 4 or 5 years. You know, I'm going to be competing solely against me, and I've got some goals for each event, which I've written down. Now we're a week out from the comp. There's a couple of events that have changed. The squat, 180 kilo for reps in 60 seconds is exactly the same. The yoke into farmers has changed. It's now yoke 15 meters, 240 kilo, 530 pounds, 15 meters, drop, pick it back up, come back. Deadlifts remains the same. Circus dumbbell. Now, I've worked really hard on the circus dumbbell, as I mentioned before. Same with the squat. My shoulder mobility turns out is really bad. Really, really bad. When I first started to learn to squat, I could only get my fingertips around the bar in a high bar squat position. I didn't have enough mobility to actually grab onto a squat bar. So for anyone worrying about that, there is things you could do, because I have improved it. I can get the bar into a low bar squat position and hold the bar, but it's really uncomfortable. So on the day, I am going to go high bar squat, because it's what I've more practiced. The circus dumbbell got changed 2 days ago, so just a week before the comp, or day over a week. Because I've only got one loadable dumbbell, and there's also an intermediate class and an opens class, they've decided that they're going to use the loadable dumbbell for the opens, and novice and inters are just using metal dumbbells. This was a concern, because I've put a lot of work into the circus dumbbell, and kind of made it what I think was probably one of my better events. Practice on picking it up, getting it to the shoulder, the press. To date, my 1 rep max on it's 65 kilos, so I've worked quite I think quite hard. Again, this might not seem a lot to some people, but I train largely once a week. So I feel my progression is pretty good. But felt really good about that. And just over a week ago, so 2 weeks out from the comp, decided, you know what, let's try something a bit different, and go with trying to, instead of press it on the shoulder, sort of one motion it up to lockout. And was able to do that, and thought, even if I can get 3 or 4 with this sort of one motion, then fatigue get those done quick. If everyone else has to shoulder press it, maybe it's an advantage. I don't know. Everybody else might just one motion it, but that was my theory. That's been changed to a standard dumbbell. I did have my last training session yesterday, which is the Saturday before, exactly a week before, and got my hands on the actual dumbbell that we're going to be using, and I can one arm snatch it to overhead. Managed 3 reps, and then that was that. Didn't touch it again. So on to my predictions. Now, this is the key bit that I wanted to sort of put down on video. As far as a novice strongman goes, I believe that I really do fit that bill. Never touched an implement before 6 months ago, and I've I just really enjoy it. So what I would say is, for anybody, it's kind of the reason for me making this video is people trying to find information about, can I do it? Would I be allowed to do it? If you pay your money or you enter that competition, don't feel like that you're not good enough for that place. If you come in as a reserve or whatever, if that spot is given to you or you pay for your spot, it's your spot. My initial goals when I first got told you're in was, don't come stone dead last and don't zero an event. And that was all of it. That was my goals. As I've kind of progressed along a little bit, I've set some more accurate kind of goals. There's 2 guys this week have dropped out of the novice, so there's only 8 of us. So I really don't want to come 10th, because if I come 10th out of 8 people, I'll be really gutted. But yeah, here we go. So the squat, the whiskey barrel squat, really whippy, 180 kilos, 400 pounds. You've got a minute. I think 10 reps is a goal, and I'll be pushing myself on the day. I've set all my goals as sort of just higher than what I've actually done in training to try and push. So if I get any of these, be a huge PB. And even if I do come 8th out of the 8, if I can hit some of these, or even all of these, couple of these, whichever it is, I can walk away from the day. I'm sort of in competition with myself, I guess. So I'm aiming for 10 reps on the squat. The yoke, so it's 240 kilos, 430 pounds, 15 meters down, drop, pick up, 15 meters back. I've set a goal to do it in under 20 seconds. Again, I don't know if by anyone else's standards that's fast, slow, or what. I have done it in 19 point something seconds twice in training, but I've been training it with a 260 kilo yoke, so I've been doing it slightly heavier. But on the day, don't know if there's going to be nerves, don't know what the weather's going to be, like all these other factors. So my goal is under 20 seconds. The deadlift, I'll just chuck this out there, it's by far my weakest lift. It's 200 kilos for reps in a minute. And I'm a week out from comp. I finished my prep work. I'm not going to train again now till the comp. And I've only ever pulled it 4 times. It's my max. I have lifted heavier on different implements. So we've got a car deadlift frame down at the gym, which is obviously a higher pull. We put a Vauxhall combo van on the back of that, which is far heavier than 200 kilos in the hands, and I've pulled that. Silver dollar deadlift, we've got the attachments there from an 18-inch pull, and I've pulled 300 kilos on that. It's more power off the floor, and I've been sort of tweaking, trying to look at technique, trying to look at this, trying to look at that, and I've worked out that my form, from what I've been told, isn't exactly correct for when I pull it. But I think with being so new to it and trying to learn everything else, it's one of those things where I've got to pull it how I can pull it, which isn't dangerous, but isn't what you call strictly perfect. But hey, my goal is to try and pull 4 reps. If I do that, I'll be absolutely ecstatic, because that's the gaping hole in my game, as it were. Now the dumbbell, although we've had the change, the most I'd done with the circus dumbbell in a minute was 9. That was before the sort of one motion snatch. So I haven't actually done a full-time run since I've worked out that I could snatch it off the deck. So I've done 9 in a minute. That's getting each one to the shoulder, breathe, 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 press. So I'm going to go a little bit more ambitious, because I think I'm going to may burn myself out a bit more. I'm going to go with 12 reps for the dumbbell. That depends on how many go up in one motion, I guess. If we can get sort of 4 or 5 quick snatches, bang, snatch, bang, snatch, maybe more. But the trouble is, I find it much more difficult to press the smaller dumbbell off my shoulder than I do the monster dumbbell. Again, through shoulder mobility, I can get the dumbbell, the big dumbbell into place, the loadable one. I can't do it so much as well with the smaller dumbbell. Then we've got the Atlas stones. I don't feel too bad with Atlas stones. The stones, the biggest one we've got is 120 kilos, 265 pounds. That shouldn't be a problem. Last week we did a little bit of stone work just over the yoke. I've lifted a 140 stone over the yoke, over the same, well, a bit higher than the barrels a few times. So my goal for that, I'm going to set a bit of an ambitious goal and go for under 15 seconds. So 10 reps on the squat, under 20 seconds on the yoke, 4 reps hopefully on the deadlift, 12 reps on the dumbbell, and stones in under 15 seconds is my goal. Now, like I said before, this is a week before the comp. So I'm going to sign off now, and then we'll stick in some actual on the day footage, and then after some of the footage we'll go over how I actually did, and hope that it teaches you something, or you may learn something in the information that I was lacking whilst trying to find out. So here we go. So that's it, we're back, we're done. That was comp day. I'm a bit sunburnt, as you can probably see. Still wearing the comp shirt. Really pleased. Yeah, really pleased with how it went. I'll go through each event now quickly, where I placed, then I'll chuck some event footage in. So things did get changed a little bit. The order of events got changed, and although I said that we were going back to a smaller dumbbell for the dumbbell press, we actually did use the monster dumbbell. So the first event was the yoke, which I said I wanted in under 20 seconds. Yoke's normally a pretty good event for me. I've been training it a little bit heavier and felt really good about it. Don't normally drop it halfway. So it's 15 meters there and back. On the return trip, I did actually drop it and picked it back up pretty quick, but I was really pleased. Wanted it in under 20 seconds. Got it in 16 seconds, 0.95, which gave me 3rd place for the first event. So really pleased with that. Really positive. First ever event in an actual strongman competition. I got a little bit nervous when I got there, but it was for sort of 5-10 minutes. I was there pretty early. Once other people started turning up and you started to chat to people, it was pretty good. Event number 2 was actually the monster dumbbell, and yeah, wanted 12 reps. I'd only ever done 9 before, and I employed the snatch technique, which I'll link at the end of the video, and I got 13 reps, which were all the sort of snatched one motion, which I was really pleased with. I actually went for a 14th, but up to the shoulder to press it and couldn't quite lock it out before the bow. But I actually won the event. 1st place, 2nd ever event in a strongman comp, and won an event. You probably tell by my schoolboy grin, I was really pleased with that. Really good. Next up we had the whiskey barrel squat. I set a goal of 10 reps and I got 7. Now, I made some rookie errors, which is again part of the reason I'm making this video. Usually when I've done squats for training, I'll do it barefoot. I decided today to do it in, big boots. Why, I don't really know. Just sort of saw a couple of other guys wearing boots to do it and thought, I'll do that. Obviously because I won the event previous, I won the dumbbell, got to go last, and I felt really good. The only way I could explain, I think, why I got 7 rather than 10 is obviously the boots make you slightly taller compared to being barefoot. I mean, they're proper thick work boots, so they're quite a platform on the bottom. And I found that the rack, it was a different rack to what I'd done it on previously. And I just think the holes were slightly different, and I think slightly lower. So obviously me being taller because of having the heel and the bar being slightly lower, it just from rep number 1 felt really like ass to grass. It's not by any means. You see in the videos, felt really low. But 7, disappointed, wanted the 10. That was it is what it is. I suppose you can't perform well in everything, just take it on the chin. That actually was, someone else got 7 as well, so I got joint 8th, which hurt because I tried to drive the actual 8th rep. I sort of dipped it down and just needed to drive it up, but just my feet, I don't know whether my feet were out of position or that little height difference, I couldn't do it. But it would have turned out that 1 extra rep would have made quite a difference. But yeah, 7. Then we came to the deadlift, and this was, apart from when I first got there and nobody was there, this was the only time that the nerves kicked in. Like I stated before, there was a chance of me zeroing the deadlift, and I'd kind of made my mind up, talking to the guys that were in the comp, weighing up sort of what they were and weren't good at, that even if I was to pull 4, which was my target, that it was going to get blown away. So I went into it thinking, I had to go out second with the guy who I was obviously joint with in the squat, and the guy who went before me pulled 15 reps, and obviously that's way nowhere near where I was going to get. So I just made it my goal to try and pull the 4. That was my goal, do that, and I did. So I was really chuffed. Pulled 4 reps. First 3 kind of flew up, to be honest, and weren't too bad at all. The 4th one, a bit of a hitch to get it up. But I sort of put it down and thought, even if I can force 2, 3, 4 more reps out, which I think, if I'm honest, I maybe would have got 1 more. Even if I'd have got another 4, I'd have probably still finished in last place. So it was kind of no point. Hit your goal, take it on the chin. It is what it is. You need to get better at deadlifting. Then we came to the Atlas stones. Now, initially, my goal was to get all the Atlas stones done in under 20 seconds. Then I thought about it when I made the first part of this video last week and thought, oh, I don't know, I think you can do it quicker than that. So I set a really ambitious goal of 15 seconds. Well, ambitious for me. And I did it in 18:55, the 5 stones. The only thing that slowed me down, the second stone, the 70, was it the 80? I can't remember what stone it was. When I chucked it up on top of the barrel rolled back, and as the guy behind it pushed the barrel, you'll see on the video, it actually crushed my toe. So that kind of threw my mind a little bit, maybe cost me a couple of seconds or so. And at the end, the last stone is 120 kilo, and I kind of thought before I went out to do the stones, if they're all feeling good, then I'll try and one motion the 120. If the stone before doesn't feel really easy, just lap the stone. You don't want to make a mistake and end up with a horrendous time. So that's what I did. I had to lap it. The guy who won the stones, in fairness to him, did him in 10 seconds, which was obviously really good. So I came 5th, I think, in the Atlas stones. So here we are, all events done. And overall, I set 5 targets for events. Didn't achieve 2, did achieve 3. But the targets that I did achieve obviously I wanted the yoke in under 20 seconds. I did it in 16:95. So that's not just beat the target. That's really beat the target. That's really good, like over 3 seconds quicker. The dumbbell, I wanted 12. I thought that was ambitious because the most I'd ever done was 9. But to get 13 was really sweet. That's a PB. Obviously to win the event, I was buzzing. I sort of stood there thinking, oh my God, 2 events in and I'm in the lead. This is bizarre. The squat, been through that, didn't achieve that. The deadlift, okay, I only got 4 reps, but that means today I've pulled that weight for the same amount of times as I have done in the past altogether. So that's a win for me. And the stones, kind of almost would have beaten the target. I don't know, I've got too ambitious and changed it, but didn't officially hit my goal for it, but I'm not too disappointed with 1855. There was 8 competitors. It was actually pretty good. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but from the bits and pieces I have seen online, be it novice, beginners, inters, sometimes even opens, you can watch the sort of some comps, and there's, I don't want to say like deadwood, hopefully you get where I'm coming from, but there's people in there who you sort of, after a couple of events, you think, wow, they need to go away and train more. You know, they're not quite there yet. Like I said, they're entitled to be there. But, you know, like, not making the numbers up. I don't want to sound cruel. Hopefully you get where I'm coming from. But this was fairly competitive. I mean, I don't think anybody won 2 events. I think all 5 events had a different winner. So I came 6th overall out of 8. Yeah, managed to beat 2 guys. I mean, the one guy who came 7th was, I think he pulled 14 on the deadlift. And I mean, yeah, it's 10 more than I did, so he's obviously strong. I believe, I'm not 100%, but I think I only missed 5th place by half a point. And the guy who came 5th in front of me was the guy that I drew points with on the squat. So if I'd have got one more rep on there, then everything would have played out the same. I'd have obviously gone up a point and up a place. But having said that, 6th place, first comp, 6 months in, 1 day's training a week. I'm absolutely chuffed. I'm also absolutely knackered. So what I'm going to do is put some pictures in here. Here's some event footage.
Come on, Carl! Come on, mate, keep going! Come on! Down, turn, let's go! Move it! Go, 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 go! Pick it up, come on, go, 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 go! Over the line! Yes, come on now! And again! And again! And again, Cole! Down! And again, come on! Yes! And again! Come on, Cole! Keep going, mate! Keep breathing! Come on, Cole! Come on, mate! Keep breathing! Come on! And again! Come on, mate! Keep going! Come on, Cole! Let's go! Keep going! Keep going! Come on, keep going! And again! And again! Come on! Pick it up! Pick it up! Come on! Chuck it up now! Come on, Cole! Come on, mate! Come on, Cole! Come on, Cole! Let's get in! Up! Easy! Come on! Good! Come on, dig deep! And again! Up! Come on! Good! Come on, Cole! Up! 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 Come on, mate! Come on, mate! Come on, dig deep! Come on, get your hips down! Hips down! Big breath! Come on, mate! Get another one in! Up! 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 Look in! Good lad! Good! Good lad! Good lad! Good lad! Up! Let's go, mate! Next one! Up! Steady! And again, next one. Set yourself, let's go up. Lap it, pull it in, let's go. Up, 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 done, hands. Good.
There was the events. It is what it is. For some reason, I haven't got any footage. I have got footage of the squat, but the video won't upload for some reason. But yeah, there it was. And I think my takeaways from it, things I learned, things I could advise people who are in the position that I was going into their first ever strongman comp. Take plenty of snacks and sugary sweets and bits to snack on. I sort of picked at bits all day, sort of Rice Krispie cakes, Haribo sweets. So didn't drink tons and tons. It was pretty hot, hence the Comanche forehead. But I didn't gulp loads of water down. I was just sort of sipping at it all day. I didn't, in the end, the squat, I didn't wrap my knees. I just wore the sleeves, which is me saying, oh, I wasn't used to practicing with them, so I didn't want to. Obviously, at this level, once they say your name, you've got to go. And I decided not to wrap my knees and just to wear the Cerberus sleeves, because what I didn't want is the pressure of, right, you're up, and then trying to wrap my knees. I've only ever wrapped my knees twice before, and I thought, you don't want to do that. Just stick with the sleeves. That's what you know. Obviously, that contradicts, because what I did change on the day was the boots, which I'm pretty sure didn't do me any favours. So what I would say, advice, stick with a game plan, set some goals. Don't do anything on the day which is new, which you haven't already done. It might be, I know, at the Stones, there was the BTB sleeves who sponsored the comp. They were there today and they were selling Stone sleeves and stuff. A friend of mine bought them and said, do you want to wear them? Have a go. And I thought, I don't normally wear sleeves. When I do Stones, I normally just don't wear tape, nothing like that. It's just tacky on the forearms and hands. Usually I don't wear a shirt, but because it kept raining, then sunny, then breezy, it was just cold and I didn't want to. So I just wore sort of cut off t-shirt. But the one thing I will say above all, which I'm really glad of, is it was fun. It was a great deal of fun. Pretty decent audience crowd there for all three categories. And it was just really enjoyable. It was quite funny with the dumbbell. I've got to keep talking about this because it was great. I didn't know whether anybody else would try that technique. Obviously, I went third from last because of the placing in the previous event. So I kind of watched everyone else do it and thought no one else is trying this technique. So when I went up, they said you've got to wait for the down signal from the referee. If you drop it before the down signal, lift won't count. And I said, snatching is okay, right? And the timekeeper said, yeah, if you could do it. And it was quite funny because everyone's sort of cheering for everybody else. They blew the whistle, snatched the first one up, and everything just kind of went quiet. And there's sort of people in front of me just sat behind where the referee was, sort of going, oh. And I thought that's pretty cool. Kind of meant I left my mark. A lot of people after it was done, even from the Open to the Inters, walking around saying, that was really impressive. I was really impressed with that. Really well done. That was really good. And it is, strongman is a big family. Everyone gets on. Everyone sort of shook hands. We all sort of discussed what we could have done better. The squat annoyed me not to get 10 because minimally I really wanted 8. But I set 10 as a sort of progressive push for target. But I hit 3 out of the 5 goals, comp number 1. Really pleased. So it's June 25th. Kidderminster Strongest Man UK is done. And I think I'll be looking for another comp in sort of October time. Give me something to train for now. I think training goals will be a lot of work on deadlift. Because from what comps I've found, a lot of the sort of novice is sometimes 180, sometimes 200 kilos. So most comps are going to have a deadlift. So to have a gaping hole where before I went in, I already knew pretty much guaranteed that I was going to be last. Don't take it as too negative. Just set yourself a goal. Try and do it. If you did it, I mean, I think I was more happy hitting 4 on that deadlift than some people were after they hit 12 or 13. Because they probably thought, oh, I could have got another one, or I wanted to do this, or I wish I could have got another one in, or that one was a grinder. I was just like, I did my 4. So advice for your first strongman comp: enjoy it. Don't do anything new on the day. Stick to your game plan. Make sure the night before your bag is packed, which I also did, and didn't turn up forgetting anything, which was great. Take plenty of snacks. The one thing I didn't do, which you should do, take some sort of a fold out chair. Would have been really helpful. Being stood up between every event, not so great. But enjoy it. I hope this has been helpful. Rambling. But yeah, comp done. Ice bath done. Relax. See how I feel tomorrow. Cheers for watching. Thank you.